Thanks for tuning in to the first official episode of Freakier Than Fiction, a podcast hosted by yours truly, Evan Fineout, joined by my two co-hosts, David Overby.
Yo!
And Hunter Creasy.
Howdy.
Hunter, what are we talking about tonight?
So today we're gonna be on theme for the season. Halloween's coming up. We're gonna be touching on the infamous legend of Mothman.
Ooh.
I don't know how infamous it actually is, but it's been haunting me for at least a decade.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's worth talking about. I can't go into the forest anymore without thinking about his beady little red eyes.
Oh, yeah.
I can't pee in the woods at all.
No, impossible.
Yeah.
If you're ever, like, driving and there's, like, two walls of forest on either side of you, it's the worst
I want to touch
experience.
on that because I didn't find much in my research. But David, if you could go ahead and explain to us the origins of Mothman.
All right, so let's start from the beginning in 1964.
Six.
1966. Thanks for the fact check, guys.
You explain, I'll fact check.
All right, yeah, this is.
Are you going to start with the bridge?
No. I'm going to start.
Because it starts in the factory.
Yeah, it starts in the
TNT.
factory. So there's.
Dynamite.
So over in West.
Shut up.
Aw.
And I went in the back. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so starting in West Virginia, we got in Point.
Pleasant.
We got some teenager hood rats. They're parked outside.
We didn't have those in the 60s.
You're
we-
profiling.
Yeah,
You can't do that.
I
thought
might.
they were
All right,
fat,
I was
too.
We're never going to get to it.
All right, so they're chilling in this parking lot in this TNT factory.
Definitely doing drugs.
Yeah, just no. Maybe they're making out in their car.
The drugs
Okay.
were okay back then. 'Cause it
There
was
were
the
5
60s.
dudes. And tell me what else there is to do in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
All right, so
They were hanging out in an abandoned factory.
yeah, just
Obviously, they were doing drugs.
all right, and then all of a sudden they see some red eyes in the factory.
Oh,
But not because of
7 foot
the
tall
drugs.
figure.
Yeah.
Man bat.
What?
Man bat.
Yeah, surprise! They're changing them.
Oh, man, I knew it.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome
Alright.
to the Arkham Knight review.
Have you
Alright.
seen that, though?
Yeah, it's spooky.
Yeah, it's so spooky.
It's Mothman.
Go ahead.
All right.
Do you think it was inspired by Mothman? Because it totally could be.
It
Makes sense, actually.
I read in one of the articles I was reading that they named him Mothman based off of a character from the Batman TV show of that time.
Oh, shit. Was Mothman a character on Batman? Like, straight up, that was the name?
Apparently, I've never heard of him.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get
he's
to that.
pretty lame, so no one goes in.
Oh, you actually know about him?
Yeah, I know about Mothman.
What, he looks lame. He looks cartoony.
He's pretty lame.
Hopefully we'll get to that eventually.
David is our Batman informer here on the podcast.
That's me.
All
If you
things
need
Batman.
Spider-Man, you got your boy Evan over here.
Yo,
And
what's
if
up?
you need, like, places to eat around town, I can help you out. Okay, so we were at the factory and they just saw Mothman.
They saw red eyes, but not because of the drugs they were probably taking.
Yeah, allegedly.
And then there's this 7 foot tall creature, and they're like, "Whoa!"
What?
We-
Mothman.
And then all of a sudden, like, we gotta book it, and so they book it, and now word around town is, yo, there's this Mothman.
Well,
guy
supposedly
going-
they
you
booked
missed-
it, and it was chasing them.
Yeah,
for a
and
little
it
bit.
kept up with their car. And this is like, this
They're-
is a consistency with the Mothman legend,
Yeah.
is that it always keeps up with the car, and it tends to never need to flap its wings for some reason.
saw-
It just flies.
Yeah, it just kind of levitates like Magneto. Or something.
I'm already spooked. I'm really sorry for what I'm going to do to you guys in just a couple minutes with this audio tape I have to play for you.
Oh, is it about Mothman? or
No,
just
it's
spooky?
actually not. It's just to really freak you guys the fuck out.
It's gonna-
I brought an audio recording.
It's gonna be a long drive home from me.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So we'll yeah. So I guess it keeps up with their car. It spooks them.
Yeah, they run to the courthouse, tell the cops.
Yeah.
The cops are like, these kids were pretty good. I totally didn't know that they did drugs all the time on the weekends. So I believed them.
And then they're like, okay. And then more people are like, yo, we keep seeing this thing with red eyes everywhere.
So that same night, there was another sighting where a guy.
Same night?
Same night.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
here it gets really spooky. All right. So I've known about Mothman for a while, but I just read this stuff last night or tonight. So a guy was at his like farmhouse, and he's just came home from a night at work, and he has a hunting dog with him, and then he hears this weird like screeching sound outside. He said it sounded like a generator starting up or something like that. So it was just really high pitch and
Well, it
eerie.
done sounded like a generator starting up, Evan.
Yeah, yes, sir. And so he opened the door. He came out with like a shotgun and stuff. His dog came out with him, and he said his dog's like an experienced hunting dog. And they look out into the distance, into the woods and stuff, or a barn or something, and they just see those red eyes. And those red eyes.
Oh man.
So, but his dog, of course, is like a hunting dog and stuff.
Oh god,
so
I hope it
goes,
didn't.
it
No,
goes after it.
not the dog.
And the guy's like, "Ladybird." So the guy's freaking out. He's like, "Come back." Dog didn't come back.
Hey, no, come back.
Oh no, the dog died.
It was
Oh,
like
no,
a
no, no, no.
It was like a chihuahua. He really wanted to get rid of it. No, ladybird.
Chloe. Oh man.
Cynthia, no.
Oh. But anyway, so the dog goes off into the distance, loses sight, and he keeps calling for it. The dog's not coming back. The guy is spooked. All right. So he goes into his house. He locks the door. And said he fell asleep like in his bathtub with his gun in his hand. He was so freaked out.
So like I Am Legend.
Yeah. Only the dog wasn't in there with him.
Oh man, that
Oh.
scene with the bathtub and all the screaming
yeah.
outside and
Oh.
I Am Legend.
That's a
Damn.
good movie. And
I don't know.
I kind of.
We'll
It's
get
been a
into
while.
that
Let's get back to Mothman.
Yeah, well, let's get
It's
back
been a
to
while. I'll have to watch it again.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Anyway, so that couple or those kids or whatever that saw him by the TNT factory, the guy read in the next day in the newspaper about the report and stuff from them, and guess what they saw on the road while they were driving away from that TNT factory? A dead dog.
Right, yeah. I was going to say that. The
Yeah.
stories bled into each other at that point cuz like they said that they saw a dead dog on the road
Yeah.
as they were trying to when they were trying to escape,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's spooky.
They said
Oh,
that
no.
Mothman,
Sad, too.
the Mothman in quotes, was he was crouched over on the side of the road. This is another commonality is that he's typically crouched over on the side of the road, looks at you, and just like slowly gets up, and then boom, chases on,
Oh,
lurches
no.
after you.
To continue with the spookiness, we go to this. There's more reportings of Mothman going on.
Yeah.
But then we get to the bridge.
1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed.
Yes. And what do people see on the bridge?
I don't know. Maybe the topic of the podcast?
Yeah, it's Mothman.
Ladybird.
Oh, no! Ladybird!
all of a sudden they see Mothman and like, whoa, man, what was he doing on the bridge? And then oh, by the way,
It was Will
46
Smith.
46 people did die.
R.I.P.
because of- R.I.P.
1967.
Well,
Mothman.
two of them
Apparently-
they couldn't find the bodies of two people.
Oh,
So
well, I mean,
it's
that's
just
pretty
bad.
typical,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a giant bridge. I get it.
Yeah. Might have been a mail truck on it, too.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
No, there's a tornado.
This just happened in our town. A tornado blew a semi truck full of mail off of a bridge, so it's ironic. But one of my favorite theories about Mothman is that of course he's an alien.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And he came to warn us about the 1967 Silver Bridge collapse.
Yeah, I was reading
Couldn't
about
warn
that.
us about 9/11. That was.
Well, there's another theory that
Whoa,
Mothman.
that's 40 years later, man.
There's
You don't know their lifespan.
There's
Mothman only lived like 12 years. You know?
Yeah, they're like houseflies. They gotta have sex that day.
they gotta be on it. There's like, oh man. But there's another theory that Mothman caused 9/11.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah,
If you
I
ever
read
Google-
it.
Google image Mothman, and one of the suggestions would be Mothman 9/11.
Yeah, there are a lot of images of like Mothman UFO style where you see this sort of figure in the sky, always black and white.
Did
for
you
some
guys?
reason.
This was
Only hipsters take pictures of Mothman.
I did it before it was cool. but no, did you guys? I found this. It was a trending topic. Like if you go into your Facebook search bar and it shows like what's trending or whatever. One of them was like the New Jersey Devil or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen
We
that
should
picture?
do a podcast about the New Jersey Devil because that's an
That's
interesting
spooky
story.
looking.
I would-
Have you
yeah.
seen the picture?
That's just an interesting take on the devil that sort of got more traction in a religious sector of the country. But
Well,
yeah,
I don't
he
know the
looks
story. I
creepy.
just saw the picture, and that's what it was called. There's a story behind it?
I don't know it, but if there is, we'll do a podcast.
Yeah,
on
we'll,
it.
Alright.
we'll get into that.
It's worth it because I've seen plenty of documentaries about it.
Oh.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. When I
I
was
think it's, if I remember correctly, the New Jersey Devil was made to scare people. Like there was a purpose behind it, that it would make the devil seem more real. And I might be remembering this crazy wrong, and honestly, I don't care. But I think it was made to scare couples who would like sneak out at night and stuff, to be like, "There's a devil in the woods."
Oh,
something.
that would scare me.
I want to get to this. Do you have something to talk about, David?
Yeah, I was going to continue on of the Mothman.
The topic.
Yeah, the topic.
Yeah, it was about Mothman.
Yeah, but
but
continue.
there's a specific thing about Mothman that always really resonated with me. Mothman is one of those monsters that you don't really see. Like if you look at
You
just
feel the presence.
if you look
of
at a
it more than
drawing of
anything.
Mothman, it's not like crazy
it's
scary.
just like red scribbles and
Yeah.
but it's kind of eerie looking,
But
but
the
it's not like
conce-
scary
the
looking.
way
you
it's
know?
always portrayed is in the woods.
yeah.
Dark woods. And this is not something we deal with very often being from the city. But I assume people who drive country roads all the
Oh,
time get
no.
really used to it, and having that snapped would be devastating.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know when I journey to like the foresty parts of the state, I can't look into the woods at night. If I'm alone in a car, like I just can't think about my car breaking down.
Sounds
Yeah,
like the worst.
like-
oh, man.
Well, one part of the Mothman legend that I've heard, which I think might be from the movie, we haven't watched it.
I've
but-
seen parts of it, but I haven't watched it all.
but
the way
it's in
through
the
in a while.
woods.
Yeah.
You divert in the on a wooded road. You go off to the side, and then Mothman grabs you and pulls you into the woods. And I think that's what happens in the movie. Don't quote me on it.
It's like
Did you see the movie?
yeah, I've seen. It's been. I need to watch it again.
Mothman. What's it called?
Mothman Prophecies, which is
Mothman
based
Prophecies.
off of a guy named John Keelman. Something Keelman was a journalist who went to Point Pleasant in the '60s and basically just documented everything went down. And then that goes into something related to this. I was talking about David earlier called Indrid Cold. Another
we'll
thing.
get-
was-
Yeah.
another thing in the movie as well. But anyway, but yeah, the Mothman Prophecy is based off of his like published thing is of the same name. But anyway, what happens similar to that is like when it's kind of like a montage of people sharing their encounters and stuff. And one of them is a guy was like on the side of the road by the forest making out with his girlfriend and stuff. And then it
Not
just,
a good thing to do.
Nope.
Don't make out with girls. Ever.
But no, and then like they look up and it's on their windshield. Pretty
Ah.
much.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that kills the mood.
Like it's the turnaround,
Peeping
and then all of a
Tom.
sudden it's there. Not good.
yeah, even if
Don't
it was
like
just
it.
a person like nearby, I would have
Yeah.
freaked out.
My dad sometimes used to pull over on the side of the road to pee.
Uh-huh.
At night on wooded roads. He would get out of the car, and he couldn't just pee from the door or anything. He had to walk to the tree line
Oh,
and pee.
no.
My fearless gun-toting father would do this. Holy shit. I'm going to have to beep that. I could never do that. It's so scary.
Oh,
Like
That's-
it resonates with me on
The
such a
closest-
physical level.
yeah.
I feel like it's almost this primal instinct that goes back to when dark woods were very bad, when we were Neanderthals and you should not go wandering in the dark of the woods. It feels primal, staring into the shaded, completely dark woods and
It's-
thinking that something might be there. Not cool.
There's an eerie presence you can just.
It's
feel,
almost
you know?
like a window, because like if you stare out of a window at
Oh.
night, you'll be scared.
Oh yeah.
But if you like, it's staring into darkness
It's-
and thinking about the possibility of something
That's
happening.
like the definition of terror. pretty
Yeah,
much,
that's one of my biggest fears is just not knowing what's there.
Yeah.
Just not knowing because like, you know, we talked about it earlier.
We talked about it on one of our practice session podcasts.
Yeah, of like, you know, let's say you're swimming in the ocean and
Can't do it.
you feel something.
Yeah.
You just go to the, you know, the darkest place in your mind, like what could be.
Immediately, adrenaline hits you. It's the biggest threat it could be. Because, I mean, honestly, that's what's going to make you survive, is assuming something you don't know is the biggest threat it could be.
Exactly, and that threat is Mothman.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He's in the ocean.
He has webbed feet, and he swims in the ocean.
Let me get ya. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
But
I
th-
think that fear is sort of this breaking of what you think is going to happen, right? If you walk down a hallway that you've walked down 100 times, you expect everything's going to be the way it was the last time you did. If anything's different, if you bump into a table that you didn't know was there,
It's
boom,
cool.
adrenaline.
Well,
Like,
one
this
of
is wrong.
One of the worst things that I had to face on a regular basis was for pretty much all throughout high school. I had until like a couple months ago. I had a loft bed, which is essentially a bunk bed, but only it just has a top bunk, and then on the bottom there's like a desk and stuff.
I also had one of those,
Right?
and I encountered exactly what you're talking
yeah,
about.
climbing up that ladder and then that last step of something's gonna grab my leg, and I have to get up here
Exactly.
as soon as I can. That rush of adrenaline, and then just you get into bed and you're like you're fine, but it's all just kind of like settling down, and you're just kind of sitting that fear for a good 5
I
minutes or
assume
so.
you didn't take as many steps up the stairs as there were stairs, right? Yeah,
I-
it was leaps and bounds,
It was
like one or two.
best I can imagine, or best I can, it's like in Scooby Doo when they'd start to run and their legs would start like turbining and
All
stuff.
right, I have some more questions about your bunk bed. So
it was
did
actually a stairmaster.
So did it have like a barrier on the side,
What?
like a barrier to stop you from rolling out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and was there like a slit in it?
Kinda.
Were you scared of like looking in that slit? Because I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like seeing eyes in
Yeah.
the slit, big fear.
No, I remember one time, I was cuddling with my girlfriend in there, and
No.
well, no.
You had a girlfriend when you had this
I told you I had
monstrosity?
this until a couple months
This
ago.
monstrosity of a sleeping device.
Yeah. Because it saves so much space in my room for other activities.
It's true, but did you actually use it?
Well, we're just like cuddling. And
This is a
stuff.
different conversation. Go
But
ahead.
anyway, well, I remember our hands were out in the open, and we could see the shadows of 4 hands on the ceiling. And I remember the the possibility popped in my head of a 5th hand shadow.
Oh, no.
That just being the
Jeez.
the scariest friggin' thing I could ever imagine. I became so uneasy just from thinking about that possibility that I had to go.
And that's the story of how I peed on my girlfriend.
All right, so back to
No
Mothman.
follow-up question with the bunk bed. It had stairs on the side, or did it have a ladder?
It was a ladder.
Never mind. Because mine was stairs, and it was
What?
against a corner, and there was the dark recess under the stairs. Not fun.
No, mine was a
Thanks
ladder.
a lot, Mom.
So I had to go straight up, and it was like
Yeah.
it was basically like vaulting myself over it every night.
When I was young, I used to like put my foot as far away from the bed as I could when I had a floor bed. When I got off, because hands would obviously come from under the bed and grab my ankles. If I was a monster, that's what I would do.
Oh yeah. Obviously.
So I used to hurl myself off the bed.
Yeah. No. Sometimes like, you ever just? I mean, for no reason, we just have these nights where like we're more on edge than usual of like
Yes.
irrational things.
Tonight
like that
will be one of
happening.
those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun drive, like 30-minute drive home.
Oh, I can't wait to play you this.
Oh, okay. So let's finish Mothman's theories of origin, because there's a couple.
Okay.
Theory number 1, which is plausible, I guess.
Plausible?
Well, compared to the other one,
Let's be honest.
they're all pretty bad.
They're all really bad.
So inside the TNT factory,
every video, sorry to interrupt. Every video I watched or something started with one theory of Mothman's origin, which even the conspiracy theorists think is wrong. Every single one. So no one thinks Mothman's real.
yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure, and we
I-
might touch on this, but I'm pretty sure not the village, Jesus. What is it? Point Pleasant? Just made it up
just
to get tourists and stuff, because they
Yeah.
have a Mothman statue. They're obviously like in on it, whatever.
yeah.
But
So
go ahead.
Here's what goes down. Inside the TNT factory, they found like radiation or chemicals or something, because it was some like World War II factory.
Toxic Avenger.
And yeah, and essentially this, I forgot what stork it's called, but a stork.
Something crane.
Oh, something.
Oh
crane.
yeah,
Wood crane. or
It's
something.
huge. It,
yeah. Some sort of massive crane they think got mutated by
yeah,
it, right?
and became a Mothman crane.
Or just a giant crane, because this crane has like
Talking
red.
about a bird, not like a construction device.
Yeah.
but-
it has red
Mothman's a
markings
transformer.
near its eyes that they think might have been that, and it's a generally big bird. So if a
huge.
giant bird
It's
came,
actually Big Bird confirmed.
yeah, it's actually
But
the
my
inspiration for
favorite
Sesame
theory
Street.
is apparently around this time there's also some UFO sightings going
Yeah.
on, and they think Mothman's an alien.
Yeah.
That's honestly the most plausible to me. I mean, as plausible as Mothman origins get, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay, but question: a spacefaring species came to Earth and was like, "What are we gonna eat?"
dog.
How about the first thing that runs at me?
cars. What are these things?
Yeah.
I better chase
They
them.
got food on their ship.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what makes this theory ridiculous. Is that they have food on their ship. Why would they eat a dog?
They didn't eat the dog.
Mothman.
though. They just saw it dead.
Oh no, it's killing for sport.
Oh, it's
Because of the arrow thing. It's because of the arrow.
Because it observed us, and humans are monsters. We're the real monsters.
We're the real Mothman.
No. Man moths.
So yeah, so it just doesn't make sense.
Well, there's other UFO sightings, and then it kind of goes into this Ingrid Cold thing that we'll talk. I mean,
that
should we-
yeah,
wanna go
let's get into
now?
that. I was just about to
Okay.
say that.
So Ingrid Cold is described as he's a guy. He's humanoid looking, but he always has this slight grin on his face, and it's
Oh,
really eerie.
yeah. I
And he
saw a
talks
picture
to
of him.
people telepathically.
Oh.
Wait, what? I didn't hear this part.
Well, he talked to one of the sightings per se.
Well, that's just ridiculous.
Telepathically. So he's this guy. A guy was driving late at night, around same 1966, same area. And his car broke down, and then he said another guy pulled up in this. It was a car, but they described it really weird, and it was weird looking. A guy got out of the car. This guy was Ingrid Cold, and like he just walks up to him, just grinning, and never spoke verbally.
Murderer.
But he looked at him, and he said he telepathically told him that my name is Ingrid Cold, and I mean no harm, or something like that. And
Crazy.
they
Yeah.
I don't think they really talked about anything. I don't think he was even like, I'm gonna help you out. It was just like, okay, we'll be seeing you soon. And
Well,
then
did
he
his
walked-
car work after that?
I don't think so. I think he had to
Oh,
call
that's
through.
he
Man,
just drove
West-
away.
Yeah,
West
he-
Virginia is on point. On point,
Point
pleasant.
pleasant.
Yeah, with these stories. They kill it.
But anyway, so he walked, that was one sighting. Another was, I skimmed over some of these articles, so I'm gonna get. Some
Didn't he
stuff.
go door to door or something like that?
Went, there's another sighting. Supposedly, a guy went door to door, around the same time. I think asking about Mothman.
Yeah,
or
but same
something.
get up, the suit, the
Yeah, he's wearing a
glasses,
suit, just a slight grin, really eerie.
cool hat.
Yeah.
Every picture has a cool hat.
Nobody could like. He said that he was a reporter from Ohio, but I guess they're like he's from the city like right next to Columbus, and they're like, "Oh, you're right next to Columbus," and then he was like, had no idea what that was.
Getting up a picture? Ooh.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's creepy looking.
Ah! Ah!
yeah, I
So-
don't like it.
So,
Ah!
oh man,
yeah, I
he
looked
is
at those
spooky. Oh, he looks ugly
Yeah,
too.
he looks like a Joker.
Yeah,
Or-
one of those was the inspiration for. If we get some kind of social media uplink here soon, we'll try to put a picture of Ingrid Cold
Some
on
sort
here.
of social media.
Yeah, we'll
device,
work.
network place in which to put media.
They call it
But yeah,
the scary
he's
door.
spooky. He was in the movie too. Now, I thought he was the Mothman when I watched the movie, so that's why I need to watch this movie again. Because at one point, basically there's a couple different characters in the movie. One of them is Richard Gere's, or however you say his name, character. Is a guy who like drove to Point Pleasant just because like he was driving and got lost and ended up there.
Silent Hill.
Yeah. But,
I haven't seen that movie.
What?
Yeah, never saw it.
I never saw the movie, but I know about
play
it.
any
I
of
know
the
game
games?
and stuff. Yeah.
Nope.
Because there's like 30 million of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're too spooky.
I
you
think
know
every
me.
Silent Hill kind of starts with a guy gets lost. He ends up in Silent Hill. He goes for ask for directions.
And then he gets murdered.
Hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so Richard Gere, he got a phone call from this guy, a guy's house he initially ended up at. A guy like pointed a gun at him and was like,
It's West Virginia.
Yeah. Well, no, he was like, "You're the guy knocking at my door every night."
Oh, jeez.
And it's like, no, that wasn't me. But anyway,
That
stuff kind
sucks.
of goes down with that.
Scary.
And anyway, later in the movie, Richard Gere gets a phone call from this guy.
Man, I don't know if I can live alone.
Yeah.
I don't
We
think
have
I
to
can.
move in together.
I gotta lock down a girl. How am I gonna do it?
You need a sugar mama.
I mean, if someone knocks on my door at 1 a.m. and no one's there to back me up, I'm peeing.
There isn't Everybody Loves Raymond.
That floor is
episode,
gonna be
like-
wet. It's not water.
Nope.
It's pee
It's pee.
That's
everywhere.
pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened.
My pee.
That happened to me.
And I'm not holding a bag of pee. I spill it. I actually pee my pants.
No, if I was home alone, and someone knocked on my door at like anytime after it was dark, I wouldn't answer.
It happened to you, right, David?
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. I was freaked out. Like I got so scared that I couldn't move.
You do not expect someone to come to the door
Yeah.
after sundown.
Yeah, it was like 2:00.
If they do, they're a freaking idiot. Or a serial killer and know that they can kill you.
Yeah, like it
I
was
hate
2:00.
those stories.
I just
Like-
got off Skype with you.
Me?
The usual. It was like you and Brent.
You
we
called
just
me
played.
after, right?
Yeah.
I think you were like, were you at my door?
Yeah, no, I got on Skype and I was like, guys, where you at?
And then you have to get to any location that does not have a window.
Yeah, that was the problem. I slept on the sofa and
Ugh.
right next to
a lot of
the
windows there.
door and the giant windows, like the giant windows, but it was all closed up.
Yeah, but not enough.
And then all of a sudden, someone's knocking and constantly ringing my doorbell, and it's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was like Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was like, and I was scared. I was like, what do I do? And then my mom, she came. I was like, David,
Oh, your mom was there?
yeah.
Oh, that's
well,
not
still,
spooky.
like my
Yeah.
mom and I were freaking out.
He's got to protect
like
his mom, Evan.
there was
Oh, that's true.
there was like this, like I was in the kitchen because I was ducking down in the kitchen, avoiding windows, and my mom opens the door and I go, Mom, I don't know who it is. And I was like, and then and I can't go to my mom because in between the kitchen and my mom's door is
a window.
Is the window
Yeah.
where the door is. And
Now, no one can see in your house. I've tried.
yeah.
It's impossible.
And then my mom just like, she's like, just don't move. And I'm like, and I have my
Your mom
stick.
like
and
getting
I'm-
out some floss, like she's gonna strangle the guy.
There's an inside joke. My mom really likes flossing.
Yeah.
And-
I was going to say her only weapon is floss. How could she possibly take him?
Yeah, and then he just went away. Like after like 5 minutes of
So you
constant
never know
ringing.
who it was.
No. And I called all my friends like, hey, were you at my door? Because
Yeah.
don't do that.
I would never do that. I would never ring your doorbell. That's like if you're at a friend's house and it's late night, I'm pretty sure standard procedure is to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have phones now.
Yeah.
Now there is a serial killer who he would not kill anyone unless their door was unlocked.
Respect.
He would go up to their door and try it, and if it was locked, in his like psychopathic brain,
Too much
he would
effort.
think, "I'm not wanted. They don't want me here." So he leaves.
Oh,
And if it's open, he's like, "They're inviting me in," and then he kills them,
No.
chops them up into pieces, and puts them in refrigerators.
My door's always unlocked.
Would you stop it? What's wrong with you?
I live in a decent area.
Yo, you never know.
There's an escaped convict in Pinellas County right now.
Yeah,
Son of a
I know.
bitch.
Over in Tarpon Springs.
1 second, let me lock the door.
Wait, I thought he was in Clearwater.
So, man.
Mothman.
So
It's so polite of you.
going away from the spooky stories,
let
I
me-
guess.
Oh,
never
no, I have one.
I never finished
Oh.
Ingrid Cold.
Yeah, but I have a similar one to you.
Oh, go for it.
I think I told this on one of the practice sessions, but I had someone try to break
break-in?
into my
Yeah.
house. Yeah, through the window that I was right next to
Oh no.
with my sister. They took a screwdriver and they tried to bust open the window lock to get in through the window, and it would have been a really bad idea on their part because we were both holding guns. Not that I own firearms. Definitely don't. But
Nerf guns.
that person would have died somehow. And all we had to do we were like, stop it. And to no avail. And then we called my dad and we were like, Dad, you got to do something about this. And he was out, which is why they came in, because there was no car in the driveway. I guess they were trying to rob us. And and my dad got home, burst in, tactical flashlight, firearm, runs into the backyard just in time to see the dude scrambling over the fence.
Oh dang, your dad's legit. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah. Cop came. We had a good time with the cop. We gave him like lemonade,
Yeah.
Cop spent the night. Turned out cop was
Yeah.
a robber.
Turns out, okay, introducing the cop. Officer Bungalow, please come on.
guys. Yeah, I did some research on the Mothman. I'm ready to talk about it.
Oh man. But so.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's spooky.
That was my intruder story. Evan, who's tried to kill you?
I never had it. I lived in a farmhouse.
Not
for-
even a stepdad who came back after the divorce or something?
What? Is that
Nothing?
common?
I mean, I
Uh,
thought so. Yeah.
I mean,
Most murders are people you know, right?
I
Yeah,
lived.
most
Well,
of
all
them.
right.
There's a motive.
I lived on a farmhouse for like the first 10 years
You
of my
lived on a
childhood.
farmhood
I
for
did.
10 years?
Out in the country.
Good lord, my palm is on my
Zero
forehead.
neighbors.
I'm so nervous.
Zero neighbors. Really.
Except for monsters.
Like yeah. If I would have screamed out there, no one could hear me. Pretty much.
Not even your
That's-
mom?
Well.
Well, she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
She has headphones.
So
Yeah.
I lived in constant fear of that happening because I know there'd pretty much be no.
And your mom lived in constant hope of you dying to monsters.
All those
Yeah.
Goosebumps books are paid off.
Uh,
How about that Goosebumps movie?
We're not going to talk about it. All right,
well,
continuing.
we will eventually.
We will.
Maybe
so
when it
Ingrid
comes out.
Cold, yeah. So in the movie, he gets a call from him, from the
Jesus.
guy in the earlier in the movie. The guy had the gun and stuff, and the guy is on the phone with Richard Gere, and he's like, "Hey, he's here. He wants to talk to you." So Richard Gere is talking to Ingrid Cold on the phone, and Ingrid Cold is like, "Hey, so and so, it's me." And then Richard Gere's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Ingrid Cold," and it's all spooky.
you've been looking for
And then the spookiest stuff start. I mean, this isn't a movie, but like the whole based off a true story thing is like, oh.
I was prepared to watch the movie when we started the podcast. Now I am not.
Nope, I'm out.
Well, because it's too spooky or too
Gonna have
dumb.
too spooky.
Too
Gonna
s-
have to veto this one.
Yep,
Alright.
sorry.
Well,
Shut up.
what happened? Oh, what happens is like Richard Gere's talking to him, and he's like, "Okay, what's in my hand?" And
Son of a bitch.
And the guy's like, "Chapstick," and he opens his hand. There's chapstick.
Oh,
what,
no.
what flavor is it?
Cherry. Well, and then Richard.
Do you
Gere's-
like that flavor?
And then Richard Gere's like, he opens a book and he's like, "What am I reading?" And the guy like reads the exact sentence in the book on the page he opened and
Well,
stuff.
how is that supposed? Is he mind melding with him? Is that the
it's,
deal?
It's one
Like,
of those like it's a supernatural.
he's
thing.
connected to the brain of them, or
Yeah,
does he
I don't know.
exist on a separate
Maybe
dimension? What's
he
the
is
explanation here?
Mothman.
It's just a supernatural like spooky. It's not so much a like he's in there with them or something like that. It's more of a like, I'm not human. I can see what's happening right now. I'm not even.
Ah,
there.
he's a fifth dimensional being.
Yeah.
Nope, don't deal with that.
It's
Okay.
spooky. So that's Ingrid Cold in the movie, but I thought that was a Mothman. I guess I
So,
was wrong about
I
that.
I'm gonna get the science wrong, but I want to quickly explain that I believe it's fifth dimensional beings. The theory is that if you're in the fifth dimension, then you see all of the third dimension at once. So like, look at this wall that's next to us. We're looking at a wall covered in shit.
Beep.
Beep. And so you right now you can imagine you see all of the second dimension.
Okay.
But if I was a fifth dimensional being, I could see what was behind those drums over there and such. We're in a band shed. What's behind those drums and such, as if it was like a 2D image that we see. Obviously, we can't possibly understand what that would be like, but that's kind of what it is.
That's crazy.
So it's like looking at like a picture book almost.
It's
The world's a pop-up book.
essentially it's having an awareness of everything.
Wow.
Seeing everything, because the third dimension becomes like the second dimension. It's
It's crazy.
I'm not going to pretend to understand it, and quite frankly every article about it ends with and we can never understand it,
Yeah.
but that's the theory. So
like
that's why I'm
Mothman.
like fifth dimensional being is your cold,
All right, so
which would be awesome.
getting away from the spookiness.
Oh, what?
Gay.
I want to
Taxes?
go to Point Pleasant
No,
West
they're all
Virginia.
weirdos there.
because they have a Mothman museum,
Oh,
a giant Mothman statue.
I saw the statue.
Yeah,
He looks
me too.
very alien.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool.
He looks like a Ben 10.
He doesn't look like a monster.
Yeah, he looks like a Ben 10 alien. And so, if we ever have a trip somewhere, I feel like since this is our first podcast, we
Next
have to
week
go
on
visit.
Freakier Than Fiction hits the road.
Oh, jeez. So,
Oh, all right.
Mothman's really scary.
He's spooky. Don't deal with him. I don't like him.
I don't know if I can watch the movie anymore, dude.
I've told you guys in practice sessions about my
Oh, yeah.
my
Oh, are you gonna
personal-
tell us the school story?
All right, so I have an esteemed opinion that my high school auditorium has some kind of connection to the Mothman.
Yep.
One of the things I was gonna say earlier, when you talked about a window earlier, it made me think about when I was reading the article that one of the theories is that Point Pleasant is like quote unquote a window. For
Yeah,
this
they
paranormal
Point Pleasant
stuff.
would want you to think that, so
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
come there, like Sleepy Hollow or something.
Yeah, but
Dirty, conniving, scandalous
Exactly.
jerks
so the idea was like
want their tourism.
certain places in the world are like a window for spooky stuff like that to happen, and like it can be more than one place, and like it changes over time.
Yeah, like this band shed.
Yeah. Anyway,
Spooky.
but yeah, so Mothman in my high school auditorium. So
My gym partner is a Mothman.
what a show.
Hope a lot of you were around in 2006 or whatever to watch that on Cartoon Network.
Barely remember that show.
It's-
I think that was phasing away for Cartoon Network
I,
days.
I
Oh,
felt,
yeah, it
I
was-
felt
it was on the
genuinely
tail end.
bad for the kid in that show because it was such a. I think it was also mocking the education system.
Let's not get on the show.
Yeah.
I think it
Alright.
was clever.
So
Look
you-
it up.
So your auditorium partner is Mothman. Continue.
All right. so what happened was, early in my freshman year, so there's a girl I was in class with who her little brother was present there a lot. I was one of those just got out of school that was there for rehearsals, and he hung out in the auditorium with us and stuff. One night, late rehearsal goes by. I don't know if you ever been in an auditorium when all the lights are off, but it is spooky. Especially if it's old like mine is. It's spooky and eerie, and you want to get out of there as fast as possible.
Can't wait to play this audio tape for you.
Oh my god. So everyone gets out of there, but they leave this little brother behind for a second. He's the last person to come out of the building, and he comes out and he's spooked. And he's like, I saw something back in the dark. I didn't like it. It was scary. And they're like, okay, draw it for us.
Did he cry?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Wait, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And draw it for us, and he drew a picture, and so this story was told to me by a fellow class. I wasn't there to witness it, but they told me about it, and he said he drew a picture, and that it was like spooky and red, and had red eyes and stuff, and I was like, wait a minute. So I pulled up a picture of the Mothman drawings. I was like, did it look something like that? And then the guy telling me that was like, yeah, exactly like that. And I freaked
Oh no!
out. Another thing, this is like 3 or 4 years ago. This year, one of the last shows I was doing this auditorium, it was put together really quick and sloppy, like most of the shows we did. There was like,
Ouch.
there's tables and tarps and paint bottles all over the place backstage, even during the show. And there's a tarp with some paint bottles on it. And when the last night of the show, it was one of those, lights are off, we're all leaving, and we're getting ready to go. And then my friend of mine was like, Evan, you need to look at this real quick. And I walk over, and a paint bottle had been knocked over and spilled on this tarp. And the best way I can describe it, I'll try to post a picture later, but is this paint was so perfectly, it's just splattered on this tarp that it spelled the word Mothman and splattered paint. And it wasn't like someone drew it real quick or something like that. You really had to see it to understand.
I
how
will second
Yeah,
this.
I think we've all seen it, and it looks like Mothman. And I think I can explain it better. The paint just sort of seeped out and went in the crevices of the tarp to spell Mothman perfectly.
Yeah, it's like
It's one of those you have to look at it for like at least 2 or 3 seconds
Yeah.
to see it.
No one could have painted it because it obviously just dripped down like the natural crevices in the tarp.
Yeah.
so. Mothman is in your auditorium. Oh, and then
Mothman confirmed 2015.
you forgot to add that in the auditorium's like
Oh, yeah.
ceiling caved in,
So,
just like the bridge.
In the 4 years I went to high school there was some kind of catastrophe in that auditorium. Like almost every year, it seemed like. My freshman year, there's a big fire that happened, and basically everything was destroyed, and it was shut down for the second half of my freshman year, essentially. My sophomore year, the ceiling caved in, and this all happened like right before big shows we had. Ceiling caved in. It was a big mess. There was another kind of little fire. There's always something going on in that auditorium.
Always Mothman.
Way
I,
before.
I would expect so. Yes.
I even went to school there. There was a girl who was there was kind of a catwalk thing in the above the ceiling that you could get storage and stuff. And this has little to do with it, but basically she fell through the ceiling onto a chair and
no.
like went to the hospital. But
She fell through the ceiling.
yeah,
Jeez.
and crashed into one of the plastic crappy chairs in there.
And Mothman tried to warn her because he's a nice alien, but she didn't listen.
That's one of the theories. Is like he was there to warn people about.
Which is definitely the one that I like.
Yeah, he's a
cool
nice guy.
He can have my dog if he tells me about the next catastrophe.
It just didn't work out.
Living in Florida, I
Nobody
think I need to
listened
know
to-
about the bridge catastrophes.
Yeah.
Mothman, hook me up with the knowledge. You can take my dog Wiggles.
No,
Wait,
not
the-
Wiggles.
The
Yeah,
Skyway-
Wiggles.
No.
Skyway-
She's almost gone.
Oh.
The Skyway has collapsed before, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Are
I
you
don't think there's
serious?
any
Yeah,
fatalities,
really?
But I think it's collapsed before.
There was. I don't think there. Oh, I gotta look into it, but
We're
yeah,
ignorant.
the Skyway Bridge has collapsed because a ship
I
hit
think
it.
all three of us cross a bridge over the ocean at least a few times a week.
Yeah.
Living here.
So yeah, Mothman, hook us up.
yeah.
I'm pretty confident in a lot of the bridges here.
Oh, yeah,
Because there's no
nowadays-
suspension bridges really. They're all big pillars except for the Skyway.
Skyway has pillars and suspension, doesn't it?
Yeah, which has always seemed weird to me. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be a suspension bridge.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's just.
Skyway's
pretty.
stupid. I don't like it.
So we're gonna gear away towards Mothman.
Yeah.
We got our opinions in.
Uh-huh.
We got the story
Uh-huh.
in. Hunter, you have something spooky.
I have a
for
thing.
us. He keeps telling us we're gonna get. freaked
Might have
out.
hyped it up too much, but we'll see what I can do.
Let's see
So-
how the hype is.
Ironically,
night
this
again,
is also
Hunter.
from the 60s.
Where's it
this-
located?
This is Vietnam.
Okay, if it was like St. Pete, I would have been more spooked. But
This
continue.
was this is a tape that the Americans used against the Vietnamese soldiers as psychological warfare. They would have loudspeaker squadrons go out into the night where they knew the Viet Cong was, and they would play these tapes to try to scare them. And they would play on the Vietnamese belief that their unburied dead soul would wander forever in pain and suffering
oh my
around the
goodness.
forests. So this particular one, I'm going to cut away so the audio doesn't pick up the audio on the mics, and we're just going to jump back. But if you want to find this, it's a YouTube search, Operation Wandering Soul.
Ooh.
It's it's the first result. This is called Ghost Tape number 10, I believe. I'm going to play it for you guys, and
It's
I
pretty
just got
spooky.
chills thinking about it.
It's
So,
really spooky.
do you want the lights off?
No.
You don't want the lights off.
No.
Are you sure?
I gotta drive home at.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna cut back after this. Okay, so we're back now. We just listened to the tape. What do you guys think?
Spooky.
It is a spooky tactic. It sounds just like noise, but like it,
Yeah,
it gave
there's
me
howling
chills.
in it.
Yeah, it's howling. It's not a pleasant sound. I don't want to hear it.
If you were in the woods and you just heard this all of a sudden,
I'd probably
you'd shit your pants.
I'd
It's-
poop my pants.
Almost even maybe not as worse if I was in the woods, but like if I was just dead at night.
Yeah,
pitch
alone.
black,
Listening to this
sleep-
alone even
Well,
is
no,
a lot
if I was
worse.
sleeping and I woke up to this and it's pitch black.
Yes.
And I have no I can't even
Uh-huh.
think how to turn the lights on or anything.
Those sneaky.
I'd probably
Americans.
just go into a panic attack.
And it
you
would
know?
be much better quality back in the day because they had the actual tapes. This is just a reproduction.
Oh no, I don't want that.
Now, this tape was so effective that the United States had to ban the Marines from playing it around the South Vietnamese that were allied with them.
probably-
Because when they did, they would just leave.
Oh dang.
It
yeah,
probably
it's-
spooked the people using it to an extent.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about
Yeah.
is these loudspeaker troops, how did they deal with it?
Probably
And
had headphones.
they have this cute little cassette tape that says Ghost Tape number 10 and a little spooky ghost drawn on it.
I feel like if you know what's up and everything, it's not
Yeah.
too bad.
And it's like some Vietnamese people that were
Little, like shadows.
for the national country that were just speaking into like an echo chamber. That's the final part, which it gets a lot less scary. But that howling, the laughing in the beginning really gets me. Though that's Buddhist funeral music that they took and distorted a bunch and it made it really high pitched, and then the ghostly laughing in the background.
That's like so again, the theater I worked with in high school. We did this haunted house thing in October. It's called the Haunted Theater.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of cute.
Yeah, it was cute. But we were looking. I don't know if they actually played it when you were there, David. But we were looking for just like backtracks to have playing on the loudspeakers, and one of them was a friend of mine found essentially like what people with schizophrenia hear.
Oh yeah.
Like just whispering, and a lot of it was just like, "You're so stupid," and like jump in front of the car.
I just heard a tape when I heard this one. That was what people who suffer from auditory hallucinations hear.
It was
Oh,
that.
no.
It's a
Oh.
lot of
thing.
tiny sounds and then like whispering that you can kind of make out.
But it's all just negative, like you suck.
Yeah.
Kill yourself.
awful.
Right now.
I
Yeah.
will say
Well,
they did not play that when I
No,
went.
no, I think we decided it was too hardcore because we were gonna have like little kids in there and stuff. But like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cute. It's if all right. Shout outs to the Haunted Theater. When is it?
it's October 29th, I think.
All right, October.
Evan's not a part of it, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going this year.
Okay.
I'll probably skip class.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
it's on a
It's
Thursday.
on a Thursday.
Never mind. Can't go. I got class.
Yeah.
I'll probably.
So this brings us back to something else that I just want to touch on that we talked about in one of the practice
It's just
podcasts.
playing back in my head
Yep.
now.
Yep, it's not good. Which is us talking about how important sight is compared to
Whoa.
the other senses.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you heard that tape, you'd be scared. You'd be crapping your pants in the woods. Totally crapping your pants.
And then no
if you
toilet
didn't know
paper.
where it was coming from.
See, I don't know if I.
But if you saw Mothman,
Oh no. No.
you'd be a lot more scared.
if I was by myself, be done.
Yeah.
I'd probably consider suicide in that moment.
We all
That's, oh my god, it's so scary to me to think about because I wouldn't be able to kill myself. I wouldn't have anything.
Yeah.
I would have to just
What-
get down and put my face in the ground and suffer.
So
Ah.
we all
Well-
make the joke that we always have these friends like if a guy was coming in my house, I'll pull out my katana and chop his head off. But in reality, if I saw Mothman, I would terror and fear.
Well, I would
and-
try to run, and he's
Well-
too fast.
No, the thing is, I wouldn't even try. I would probably be too shocked and just stand there. and
Oh,
die.
It's hard to say. I've never been in that state of peril before, so I can only guess what I would act like, and I can guess two reactions: either that, just shock, not being able to move.
Well, I
tear,
think I
I'm
would
screwed,
have
or,
to look away. I couldn't stay looking at them.
or just like I just start screaming and just charging at it. Just
I think you would scream and like stare at it, and everything would shut down, and your brain would get a huge pulse of adrenaline. So you should be moving, but you just feel awful because you
it's
can't.
like sleep paralysis.
Kind of.
Yeah, we'll get into
But-
that later. That's scary.
It's a spooky thing.
There is something that's very similar to Mothman that you can kind of, if you want to do a Mothman simulator.
Ugh.
I think Slender Man is pretty close, right?
Oh yeah.
Walking through the dark of the woods and it pops.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just kind of comes out
Well,
of nowhere.
Slender Man.
Yeah.
The difference with that, I think, because there's the immediate like, this is a game. I'm doing this with my friends and stuff like that. Like for me, it's like I'm scared, but I'm like laughing and stuff.
Well, think
It's
about it.
that kind of effect.
Slender Man, if you look at Slender Man, he doesn't look scary.
No,
There's no scary features
it's
about
just
him.
the tension. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. No face is pretty scary to me.
a
I ain't
little
gonna
bit,
lie.
but I'm more scared of features than I am of nothing. To be honest.
Yeah, the only
But,
thing is he's like really lanky.
Yeah,
It's not good.
tall, stuff like
Handsome.
that. Although
dark.
Mm-hmm.
there is
Obviously, it's spray tan though. It shows the lack of effort.
I did this thing to spook my friends in the auditorium one time.
You punk.
Where they weren't expecting it at all. I just randomly decided to do it. We had these mannequin heads that we used for a show.
Fuck you.
Right? No.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on it.
I was wearing this hoodie that I'm wearing right now, and I just zipped up my hoodie and put
Put
it
the
past
mannequ-
my head, and I put the mannequin head in the hood.
I remember
on top
seeing
of my
that,
Head.
yeah.
There's
and then I
videos
just
of-
waited behind corners, and
Jeez, I
it
remember
makes
that.
you like 9 feet tall, and there's no face, and it's terrifying.
Did they punch you?
What kind
Yeah,
of
my theater teacher punched me.
Good, because you
Yeah.
deserve to get punched.
Is that the basic reaction that you got? Was people would punch you?
It was punch me and then laugh and me. Well, other people, like, I did to one person. They're like, "Oh my god, that's so scary," and they're like, "Okay, let's get other people now." and people
You
would wait
punks.
to see the other person's reaction, and then they'd start laughing at them. It was just kind of like a weird Doppel effect.
Yo,
like
theater
that, but-
kids are weird.
Well,
Just kidding,
And
I love
then
them.
we went out into the parking lot, and I was still wearing it, and like I was hiding behind cars and waiting for other people to walk out to like leave and do that. And when I'm out in the parking lot in the dead of night and stuff, just even once they know it's me and I'm just standing there looking at them, I would like turn my head to the side or something, and like, or if I started just charging at them like that, they even after knowing it's me and knowing it was a joke, they just crouched. They went into like a fetal position.
Yeah,
'cause they
it's
were
a
so scared.
chemical thing in your brain that your brain looks for things that are human, and then when there's something that's off, it stands out so much. And for some reason, the reaction to something being slightly less human is total fear.
Yeah.
I imagine that maybe this might be weird to have this theory, but there's only one type of human, right? I mean, there's no other species
Yeah,
of
there's
human.
Plant
But there
humans.
were at a time like 6, and I wonder if they saw each other and they thought, "That's wrong. I have to kill that."
And that's why there's only
Yeah,
one
that's
now.
why there's only one now.
That's an
Because we're
interesting-
superior.
That might be where it comes from, even.
maybe.
Yeah, if there was like plant humans, I'm out.
Plant humans?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
like
just
there's-
Nah,
thinking
I'm
about it.
chill with poison ivy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, there's. I don't know. In Fallout New Vegas, there's this one vault you can go.
Oh,
inside and
yeah.
plant
Yeah.
people in
Vault
there.
21, I think.
I think so.
The one infested with carnivorous plants
That's
that
a good
has
mission.
plant humans.
Those are spooky
That's
people.
scary.
That's
That's
good.
one of the ones.
See,
I
that's
gotta
what
put-
I didn't even get a mission to go there. I just found it and I
Yeah.
explored everything. There's like this big cave where like
I
nothing
thought-
happens.
I thought the
and-
mission was like when you got there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't. I never
Yeah.
found. a
You're
mission.
supposed to go talk to this doctor who will send you to Vault.
Oh,
21.
okay, yeah.
I
See,
never
I
found
found it and then
I
went
just
back.
found it.
Now, there's this creepy thing about that vault is they don't show you a single enemy. There's no enemies until you get to like floor 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So you just wander
You
around
lose
and
your
see
like,
nothing.
You put your guns away. You
Yeah.
don't even care anymore.
You
like,
think, oh, this is just nice plants.
And then one of those nice
something
plants-
starts hitting you
just
from
hear a
behind.
roar and yeah, or something.
Yeah, and you don't. And originally they're really well hidden,
Yeah.
so you don't know the deal
Well,
yet.
they,
You can use VATS to see them.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
was like
normally do.
constantly
Well,
clicking.
if you yeah, that's why I'm like all the time in Fallout. But if you use VATS and it zooms in on them first, they aren't even like scary looking yet. They're just like I don't know, they're in the ground still.
Yeah, they're
Like,
they're
they-
just kind of in the fetal position on the
Yeah,
ground,
they grow out and then they get like scary features.
or
and
they
stuff.
lay totally
Yeah.
down, and they don't move until you're past them,
Yeah.
which is why they hit you from behind, and it's genius.
Ugh.
And they even like give you the barrier. They didn't have to do the two empty floors, but they give you the barrier so you just won't be checking VATS,
Yeah.
and they'll get you at least once.
Yeah, that was a really good mission, and I liked how the end where you could blow, like the whole thing you had to blow up something, but the explosion was so fast that you actually had to use an item you would never use, like the adrenaline, to get to the elevator in time.
See, I never even got to.
Yeah, I don't know
explore.
what you're talking
But yeah,
about.
Okay,
Fallout.
see,
Mothman.
I don't think that happened.
yeah, no, yeah, you have to plant a bomb on something, and the bomb, like, you have to like shoot it from at the end of the hallway, take an adrenaline, and then just
Are
dart.
you sure you didn't just watch the end of Fallout 1? Because it's the same
That's
thing.
what it
Nope.
sounds like.
Okay.
But
Yep,
yeah,
nope.
Fallout.
Yeah, good game.
Seeing spooky human.
Are there any Mothman things in Fallout? Any like scary guys that follow you?
No, it's just things that kind of just come out of from behind you.
The ghouls are pretty scary.
The ghouls. I got scared of ghouls a few times in Fallout 3.
When Fallout 3 came out, I think it was 2007, right?
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, I was spooked.
In the metro.
It was hard to
when
play
you're
the game
traveling
in the
in
metro.
yeah, and it's dark and you can't see anything, and like at least usually you got used to just hearing a
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
they're
fuck
running
you.
at you, but like the first time that happens, like you're shaking, you can't even hit VATS or something. So like whoa,
It's another one of those things. It's like they're feral humans. They're just a little off, and they
Yeah.
introduce them to you brilliantly because you're standing across from them. They can't even get to you. You just see one moving
Yeah.
eerily in the background behind this
Sometimes-
cage.
Sometimes they're not even like crouched over, they're just walking on their feet. You think, oh, this is a person I can talk to. Like they're not shooting me or anything.
And a lot
and
of
then they
horror
charge
games,
at you.
a lot of horror games take that trope of like, well, we're gonna have something skitter, so you know something's there, and then you're gonna have you kind of see it, like its shadow on the wall as it runs into a lit hallway, and then it's gonna attack you. Metro 23 does that. Metro 2033. Have you ever played that game?
No, I have
Can't
it for
play
free.
it. Way too scary. So
Really?
scary. It's crazy. It's like, imagine those Fallout Metro things
But the whole game?
in a game that's meant to be horror.
Oh no.
Holy crap! I
Is
can't
that,
play.
it sounds kind of. It might be the same thing I was talking about in the practice session. It's basically you're in a tunnel, and the tunnel never ends, but it has different, like, you can pick a side, like, a direction to go. You can go left or right, and it'll just keep on going, and it keeps generating itself as you play the game. But like you have to find these glow sticks or something like that. But there's a thing chasing you, but you can tell when it's there, and if you turn around really slowly, it won't attack you. It just stands right in front of you, and if you move past it really slowly, you can just keep going and it'll be fine. But if you make the slightest sudden movement, it just jumps at you.
It sounds
It's
like you're thinking of
terrifying.
like Amnesia or that Asylum game.
It's something
came
I
out.
can't. I'll have to ask a.
Yeah, I
We
don't
talked
play
about
it.
Amnesia on a practice session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that game really takes that concept of it's scary because you don't know what it is, or you're not allowed to know what it is, because they don't let you look at the monsters in that game. If
Yeah,
you do too much, everything starts to distort and
It's like
cockroaches
Slender
crawl on
Man
your screen.
kinda, yeah.
Yeah, Slender Man,
It's
that's
just
the
static and
mechanic.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you'll
That's
die.
what makes it, like, once you see Slender Man officially in the static and stuff, it's not really scary anymore. At least for me, it was kind of like that.
Well, Slender Man uses the mechanic of if you look at him too long, you die.
Yeah.
But Amnesia uses the mechanic. You can look at them as much as you want. You're just going to go more and more insane, and the experience is going to be more and more scary. So when you're running away from them, you have to turn around and take your mouse and move it forward to close the door behind you, just to delay them a couple seconds. So you glimpse them, and they're these weird semi-human things with big openings in their chest. And they're kind of droopy, you know. That's the semi-human thing we keep talking about. And you're not allowed to look at them. It's genius.
Let me tell you guys. Everyone knows I don't watch horror movies. I don't play scary games. I get spooked too easily. And
Dude, I get spooked by Pikmin too.
yeah.
Like when you're in a dungeon in that game, you can only see a couple centimeters in front of you. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Well, like that's why we have that thing in common. We just get spooked.
Yeah.
I don't know how Evan gets spooked.
I'm a spooky sponge.
It's gotten better for me throughout the years. I mean, scary movies, so much. There's only a few that, like, I'll be like, oh man, that actually spooked me. Just because, like, slasher movies, those aren't scary at all. They're just stupid.
Yeah, I can see murder. It's
yeah.
2015 in America. I'm
Yeah.
desensitized to
Come
that.
on, let's
But
go.
Supernatural thing.
No.
I mean, especially for me being religious already, something like things of demonic nature and stuff like that, because of just my kind of raised belief of that's possible or real. That's kind of how I was brought up. That spooks me more because for me personally, I see that as an actual thing.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I'm gonna go off on that because my dad, he's not spooked of anything except for
He's also dead on the inside.
exactly like me, but he's spooked of ghosts and demons because of that religious
Yeah.
upbringing. He like I would be watching, I watched like a lot of Haunting on Discovery Channel when I was it was on, and I was it was when you were sick from school,
Yeah.
staying home. It was always on around like 2:00.
Cartoon Network knew that most people were at school, so they played garbage.
Yeah, so you
You
just
had
go
to
to
watch Discovery
Haunting,
Channel.
and my dad would just like kind of watch it and like just kind of get spooked out and just leave the room all the time.
Yeah.
He'd look and be like, and he just walks out. And then my mom like had to tell me, David, you can't watch that. And I'm like, why? It was like, I think your dad was really spooked out by it.
Yeah, my father went to Catholic school, and he always tells the story of he snuck out of the house to see the exorcism of Emily Rose.
oh,
And he was raised Catholic hard, and he completely believed it was real anyway. He watched the movie, and he said he was almost fine, like he was very scared, but he was fine until Based on a True Story came up at the
Yeah.
end, and that plagued him for years.
well, have you? There's two. He probably saw The Exorcist. That was the one that came out in like the 70s or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever the original one
Yeah,
was.
that's The Exorcist. Emily Rose came out in like early 2000s. And
Mhm,
that's
I remember now.
also based off a true story thing, but it's a different story. It's one of a girl in like Germany or something. So I was a few months ago. I was watching a documentary on that. Not even a documentary, just like something on YouTube about it, because I was curious about the actual story. And they took a tape of the girl. It was based off of the actual girl, like just the speaking and the, and the voice
stop.
and stuff. But
too late.
at the end of the video, they played that tape, and it was daylight out. I'm in my house, my apartment, and it's like 3 p.m. Not a spooky setting at all, but just that tape.
Redefines the corners in your house, right?
Yeah.
So
All of a sudden, they carry a lot more value than they used to.
I feel like The Exorcist is such a genius movie because if it came out today, it wouldn't
They
wouldn't
try
do,
to, and it's just not success. I mean,
yeah, it won't
Well,
be
they have
successful.
Omen and all this stuff now.
Yeah, but you
when
know,
they keep doing new takes. I mean, Insidious spooked me the first time I saw it, and I watched it in broad
it's
daylight.
garbage.
But I mean, I watched it when I
Kingsman spooked me. What's going on in cinema? Why is this made?
But I watched Insidious when I was 14, and B, it was the first of that kind that I really saw, I guess. And it spooked me for what it was. But they keep doing different versions of that same story now. That it's getting less and less scary.
No, like I'm saying, just because Exorcist came out of a time when majority of the United States was Catholic, and that spooked everyone.
Yeah.
Just because,
JFK was president, baby.
oh snap!
Got a Catholic in the White House.
They say that a lot of movies are made based off what the culture is currently afraid of.
Yeah.
Like Godzilla was symbolism for nuclear warfare for Japan.
Or giant lizards.
I got
Yeah.
some stuff to talk to you about.
About Godzilla?
There's a fantastic theory that I just heard. On,
Godzilla's
I'm
real.
gonna quote my source, Cracked Podcast, fantastic. Don't listen to this one. Go listen to theirs. They brought up this theory that when a Republican is president, zombie movies are popular, and when a Democrat is president, vampire movies are popular. And so far, there hasn't been a lot to refute this. But the theory is that when a Republican's in president, all of the Democrats and the liberals feel so drained and like emotionless about it, and they go towards these zombie movies, which is what they see the Republicans as, like these driveling idiots. And then when a Democrat's in office, all the Republicans go towards these vampire movies, which is what they see the Democrats as, like sucking all the money from the economy
What?
and such.
No,
Yeah.
that's too crazy.
I don't think there's been any vampire or zombie movies out in the past like 8 years.
Well, Obama's been
What's the most
president,
popular TV show right now?
The Walking Dead, but
Exactly.
that-
Which
He's a
would
Democrat.
refute it.
Yeah,
He's a
Because
exactly.
it was Democrat.
Well, I thought you said it's when Republicans.
Well, all of the Twilight movies came out when Obama was in office,
that does
correct?
not count.
It
as a
absolutely
vampire.
counts.
Oh, okay.
all right,
Anyway.
I'll allow it.
Okay. I want to touch on something though. I was searching for audio spoopy audio clips to play you,
Thanks.
and I settled on that one because there were two others I was looking at that seemed way too real.
This is probably a horrible like hour and a half for you, I'm guessing.
I'm sorry.
Yes. But one of them, and this isn't a scary thing, it's just really morbid. It was the first man to ever go up into space.
Oh, I know what you're.
Yeah, who died. And it's him coming down and like screaming at the NASA
Oh.
control, like, why are you doing this to me, you pigs and such.
Oh, that's terrible.
Terrible. Did it, like, because it's in Russian, it's kind of desensitized. The other one was like the first real recorded exorcism,
Oh,
which was like what that was based on. But
Yeah.
it's this 60s, 70s recording of her going into demon mode.
yeah.
Oh snap! Demon
Awful.
mode.
So awful. I could not play it for you guys. So I chose the spooky Asian man laughing.
Thank you.
But no, have you ever heard the sound of space?
Yes.
It's just the like.
The creepy drone. I listen to drone music though, so I'm used to that
Well,
stuff.
I don't know if we're talking about the same. Maybe. It was maybe a year ago. A trending topic thing like NASA published this, like maybe minute and a half long recording of just something. It was recorded from the moon, I think.
Yeah.
It's just the sound of space, and it's kind of not like a moaning, but it's It's hard to describe, but it was haunting.
I'd love to know where that sound comes from. Or like these giant celestial bodies making sound when they move.
Yeah,
they
maybe-
shouldn't be.
Maybe like like the how the sun, how it's going crazy over there. Maybe like that. Who knows?
maybe.
You think the sound would reach us?
I
though?
thought what
I don't know.
what my understanding was is that it was
Comments?
dead silent in space, and that's what can drive you crazy.
Yeah, because your brain's gonna interpret. It's never. Your brain has never experienced true silence.
Yeah.
There's-
Ever.
yeah,
So
there's
once
always
it
something.
actually does in space and in isolation rooms that are made now, that's when auditory hallucinations come in
Ugh.
because there has to be something.
Well,
the
you-
brain is not used to
Do
nothing.
you guys, when it's like quieter than usual, do your ears just kind of ring?
No, but I
No.
do get ringing in my ears, and I'm concerned, and I really got to see a doctor about it.
Yeah.
But that's another podcast.
Yeah.
Well, for me, if it's
All
just,
the medical problems
if it's
with
quiet,
David.
if I'm going to bed and I don't have like a fan on or something, there's not some kind of just there's not some kind of just constant like buzzing or slight sound. I just kind of hear this ringing in my ear.
Yeah.
It's not spooky. It's just kind of annoying.
Idrid Cold reaching out to you.
Yeah.
Oh no. He's too spooky.
There's never nothing.
See, my research only focused on the creature Mothman, and now you added on another spooky topic on him. So I don't want to deal with them. I don't want.
Can I spend the night again?
Do you guys want to have a sleepover?
No, I can go home.
Right. Thanks for listening to the first episode of Freakier the Fiction podcast. If feedback is always appreciated, leave it down in the comments. Send us email at freakierthefiction@gmail.com. Right, David?
That's right.
All right. We're probably going to be talking about movies on the next podcast and the mini podcast after that. I think we're scheduled to watch Birdman for the next one and do a quick review on that. Evan's been begging us to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks it's great, right, Evan?
2014 Academy Award Best Picture.
If you want to watch it beforehand and you haven't canceled your HBO subscription because Game of Thrones is over, and why would you have it? Although John Oliver's pretty good. It's on HBO. Or you could rent it from Amazon for what, like $4?
Or you can borrow it from me if you know me personally.
do people just not do Redbox anymore?
No one does Redbox,
Oh,
man.
I do it.
Yo,
I'm like,
see, it's either
It's
you
a dollar.
download it or you buy it.
it's $1. It's
Right, if you do Redbox, send us an email, freakierthefiction@gmail.com. David will read it. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, I'll do all the email work.
Yeah, catch you next week.